Please welcome Charlie Christman, Head of Investor Relations.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone joining either here in person in Auburn Hills, Michigan, or on our live webcast. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you to the Stellantis 2026 Investor Day. I'd like to thank you all for joining us, and especially those of you in the room who have traveled to get here. As a quick reminder, before we get started, any forward-looking statements that we make during today's discussions are subject to the risks and uncertainties mentioned in the Safe Harbor Statement included in our presentation and available on the Investor Relations website. We have a big day planned. Today, you'll hear all about our new strategy from our CEO and other members of the senior leadership team. Those of you who are here in person will participate in a series of modules which will allow you to experience our products and technology up close. After lunch, you'll hear from the CFO, and we'll host a Q&A session where you'll have the opportunity to ask questions of the management team. But before getting started, I'd like to welcome our chairman, John Elkann, to say a few words.
Please welcome John Elkann, Chairman of the Board, Stellantis.
Welcome all here in Auburn Hills, and thank you for joining us here and online for this very special day, our Stellantis Investor Day. Today is an opportunity to reflect on where Stellantis stands, on the progress we have been making, but most importantly, why we are confident about the road that lies ahead. Over the past year, our focus has been on getting back to the fundamentals, building and selling great cars that our customers love and trust. My whole working life has been spent in the automotive industry, and I can say that there has never been a time of greater change and challenge in our industry than now. That's why it was only right and natural that our new CEO came from within our company, calling on all his hands-on knowledge and a deep understanding of the dynamics of our company and our industry. Antonio Filosa, with the Stellantis leadership team, right from day one as CEO, focused on resetting and laying the foundations for durable success. The reset has been profound and necessary. It is anchored in a view of the industry that perhaps Stellantis, more than any other OEM, is able to understand and turn to its advantage. Shifting from global to multi-regional to regional. And Stellantis, through its history, in its nature, has a unique opportunity to make that multi-regional reality a compelling, competitive, lasting advantage. This is precisely the direction Stellantis has taken under Antonio's leadership. And today, he and his team will unveil the detail of what they have been doing, and more importantly, of their exciting plans for the future. We are already seeing encouraging initial signs that the actions are producing results. These are early indicators that Stellantis is on the right track. But there is still much work ahead, and we remain realistic about the challenges facing both Stellantis and the industry more broadly. Competition is intense. Technology cycles are accelerating, and the external environment remains highly volatile. But we are approaching this next phase with lucidity, with agility, and with ambition, all tempered by humility and an understanding that success is not achieved in one day. It is achieved day by day. And with the relentless focus on execution, that is a core strength of the leadership team that we'll present today. Today, you will hear from them an ambitious but realistic plan, powered by accountability and a deep understanding of the markets in which we operate. Our challenges are real, and to succeed, it is important to be open about these. Yet, our opportunities are very real, and the strategy we will share with you today will illustrate in detail how we will embrace them with creativity, with energy, and always with discipline. I want to thank all our colleagues of Stellantis, all our partners, all our dealers, our suppliers, and our stakeholders for what they do and how they want to win with us. I want to also thank you all for being here today with us and for your continued trust and support. And now, let me hand over to Antonio, and enjoy the day. Thank you.
Why are we named for the stars? Is it because they're beautiful? Because they're brilliant? Because we dream in them? Or is it because these beautiful, brilliant, illuminating, inspiring miracles move more swiftly with more power than any company on Earth? And when these stars are all fully aligned, they can move faster than ever.
Please welcome Antonio Filosa, Chief Executive Officer of Stellantis.
Good morning, everybody, and a warm welcome to Auburn Hills. We really appreciate you all joining us here and on the webcast as we reveal our strategic plan that is designed to drive a successful next chapter for Stellantis. This plan is grounded in reality. It is the result of months of disciplined work across the company, and it is designed to create the condition for profitable and sustainable growth. Let me start with the reality shaping our industry today. First, the industry is fundamentally more regional and fragmented. Europe and the United States are two very good examples of that. Europe is moving faster into electrification, while the US is easing the CO2 trajectory and redefining trade conditions. Second, competition from Chinese OEMs is intensifying in all major markets, with the exception of the United States. Third, cost pressure is structural. It comes not only from competition and inflation, but also from supply chain complexity and from new technologies adoption. Fourth, electrification continues with various technologies, but the pace is different region by region. And finally, the competitive battlefield is expanding. Beyond traditional automotive's capabilities, success now also depends on software, artificial intelligence, ADAS, and battery technologies. What we want you to take away from today is that Stellantis, with all its assets, its capabilities, and its new strategic plan, is well positioned to succeed in this contest. You will hear from us today how we leverage our regional roots, our global scale, our partnerships, and the new technologies in our journey going forward. Let me start with what we have done in the last 12 months. We have reorganized the company to improve accountability, to improve business agility and customer centricity. The number of members of Stellantis leadership team has been reduced from 30 to 15 to simplify our top-level decision-making. We have empowered our regions to own their P&Ls and their operational execution with the support, obviously, of the functional leaders. And our brands are now embedded in their regions, close to the very customers they want to serve. An absolute priority for me has been to focus on whole organization and product quality and execution. Product quality has already improved globally by 31%. Manufacturing efficiency increased across all our plants by almost 140 basis points. These are just the initial results, thanks to the new processes, the new standards, as well as the reinforced teams on the ground. We gained market share while maintaining pricing discipline. Ram is driving momentum in North America. Fiat Grande Panda and C-SUV launches, including Citroën C5 Aircross and Jeep Compass, drive growth in Europe. The launches of the Jeep Compass and Peugeot 408 support growth in Middle East and Africa. South America maintains leaderships through entry cars, new pickups, and SUV expansion. At the same time, we recognize that we have the need to maintain a strong balance sheet as we execute our plans. In March 26, we successfully issued 5 billion euros of hybrid notes with strong support from investors. The result is strong liquidity of 44 billion euros, representing 28% of our annual net revenues, placing us well within our target range. And our Q1 numbers are an early indicator that our actions are producing results. Compared to Q1 25, shipments are up 12%, net revenues up 6%, AOI almost tripled, and free cash flow improved by 37%. This is just the first step of our journey, not enough yet, but the direction is the right one. Let me turn now to what comes next. Building on this foundation, today we present to you Fastlane 2030. Fastlane 2030 is not a final destination, it is a journey. And today we will guide you through our journey. Let me start with the company we are building. We move people with brands and products they love and trust. We put the customer at the center of everything we do. We leverage our strengths as a global company while empowering our regions to express their local pride. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is Fastlane 2030. It is built on 6 fundamental pillars that connect the industry context, our strengths and capability, and our ambitions. First pillar, we sharpen our brand portfolio and we simplify it. Second pillar, we allocate our capital to the areas with highest returns and to develop global assets. Third pillar, we develop strong partnerships. Fourth pillar, we optimize our manufacturing footprint. Fifth, we drive disciplined execution. And finally, and very important, we empower our regions to develop tailored plans and give them the resources and the autonomy to execute them. Now let me walk you through these 6 pillars in more details. Let's start with pillar number 1, sharper portfolio management. It all begins with product. During our history, we have created some of the most iconic nameplates in the world. Jeep Wrangler, Ram pickups, Dodge Charger, Chrysler Pacifica, Peugeot 208, Fiat 500, Opel Corsa, Citroën C3, Fiat Ducato, Maserati MC Pura, just to name a few examples. And behind these iconic products, we have the brands that make them even more powerful. Our brands, they are our strongest assets. Each of them addresses specific customer needs. And we have decided to review how we manage them. Our brand and product plan has been completely renewed to maximize capital efficiency, avoid duplicate spending, and support profitability. With that new approach, we now have 4 global brands with the highest scale and the highest profitability. Those are Jeep, Ram, Peugeot, and Fiat. These brands, with their multi-regional presence, are natural first launchers for all our new global assets. And we have 5 regional brands, each of them very strong in their respective markets: Chrysler, Dodge, Alfa Romeo, Citroën, Opel. These brands leverage those same global assets launched before and make them distinctive for their own customers. The Stellantis and Lancia are historic brands, prominent in France and prominent in Italy. They will be managed by Citroën and by Fiat and developed as specialty brands. Before we move on, an important word on Maserati. Maserati plays a very special role within Stellantis. As a pure luxury brand with a special customer and a unique legacy. It already has a powerful lineup, starting with the Grecale, the Gran Turismo, up to the MC Pura. And looking ahead, we intend to strengthen its future with 2 new E-segment vehicles. Maserati's strategy, product roadmap, and value creation are different by nature, and that deserves a dedicated conversation. So we will come back to Maserati by December in the beautiful Modena. So let's go now to our second pillar, focused capital allocation. Over the next 5 years, we will invest more than 60 billion euros. 40% on global platforms, global powertrains, and global technologies to capture the full benefits of our unique multi-regional scale. And 60% crafting the brands and the products that define us, Stellantis. So let me show you some details, starting from those global assets. With our global platform, we are deploying new technologies, increasing commonality, and reducing complexity. By 2030, 50% of our total annual volumes will be produced on 3 global platforms. On powertrains, we will broaden our multi-energy coverage with new hybrids, new battery electric vehicles, and highly efficient combustion engines. And nearly 50% of our volumes will be equipped by multi-regional powertrain solutions, with energy flexibility built into our portfolio. On technology, we are also entering a new chapter. Stella Brain is our scalable central and software architecture. Stella Smart Cockpit defines a new way for customers to interact with their vehicles. Stella AutoDrive is our scalable autonomous driving system. And we will embed AI across the technology stack. All of these technologies will be launched in 2027. By 2030, 35% of our annual volumes will be equipped with these technologies. And by 35, more than 70%. These critical enablers will be developed globally and roll out locally to the brands and the products we need in the regions. Later, Davide and Ned will take you through this in further details. Now moving to the brands and to the products. We will invest over 36 billion euros in our brands and our products, of which 60% will be allocated to North America. This reflects where we see the strongest combination of market opportunity, brand strength, and attractive returns. Around 30% of our investment goes into expanding market coverage. This is the case, for instance, with a new mid-size pickup in the US and the new C-segment offensive and e-car program that will be introduced in Europe. And then finally, when it comes to allocation of capital among brands, scale and multi-regional presence really matters. Large scale allows platform, technology, and product investments to be leveraged broadly and efficiently. This is why around 70% of our total product investments is concentrated on our 4 global brands. Those 4 brands lead the launch of our global assets. With this efficient approach, over the next 5 years, we will launch over 60 all-new products and 50 significant refreshes, offering a balanced mix of powertrain technologies. Third pillar, the power of partnerships. Stellantis is one of the leading automotive OEMs globally, a company of many strengths, and with the right strategic partners, we can go farther, we can go faster, we can go better. The best partnerships create value for both sides, helping both succeed. With this in mind, we will cooperate to co-develop and co-fund products, gain access to additional geography, broaden technology optionality, increase our manufacturing capacity utilization, and improve sourcing and cost competitiveness. Let's explain this a little bit more. Today, we are already a proven and successful commercial partnership with Leapmotor through our joint venture, where we own 51%. Now we are taking that partnership to the next level, joining forces in purchasing to share supplier base and to improve cost, and also sharing capacity in the Madrid and Zaragoza plants in Spain. With our longtime partner Dongfeng, we are launching a new program under our DPCA joint venture to co-develop 2 Peugeot and 2 Jeeps for China and other regions. With Dongfeng, we are also creating a European joint venture, 51% owned by Stellantis, to cooperate on distribution, on engineering, on sourcing, and on capacity sharing, starting with our Rennes plant in France. With Tata, we are strengthening our product offering in India and supporting exports to APAC, Middle East and Africa, and South America, through synergies in manufacturing, supply chain, product, and technology. All these partnerships will bring complementary product to our extended lineup. And additionally, with JLR, we plan to cooperate across product and technology development here in the United States. And of course, partnership will help us to succeed also in the tech space. For our compute architecture, for our smart cockpit, for ADAS, for AI, and for battery techs, we are working closely with some of the best players in the industry. Ned will explain how we are already working with many of them. And I'm very delighted to tell you that we have Kazar, the CEO of Applied Intuition, Alex, the CEO of Wave, and Nakul, the EVP and Group General Manager of Qualcomm, here with us today. And you will have the opportunity to meet them later in the breakout session. Pillar number 4, industrial footprint optimization. Our regions will significantly increase their capacity utilization. In Europe, we will reduce capacity by more than 800,000 units, leveraging partnership and repurposing plans. This is planned to be executed without any plant shutdown. In Middle East and Africa, up to 90% of volumes will be locally produced or imported from the APAC partners. In the US, we are increasing production that will also help mitigate the impact of tariffs. Pillar number 5, power of execution. On cost, we target more than 6 billion euros of cost optimization by 2028 through the Value Creation Program. On quality, we aim to reach top quartile performance in every segment and every region. In product development, we are significantly reducing development cycles, targeting 24 months compared to around 44 months today. And Stellantis Financial Services will enhance our customers' experience and is expected to contribute 1.5 billion euros of AOI by 2030. Our strong relationships with supplier partners will be a key contributor to achieve our targets in competitiveness, in quality, and speed to market. AI will also be a fundamental enabler. Today, we have more than 120 applications already deployed across our companies, across our operations, and more will come. Pillar number 6, the power of our regional roots. Today, we are number 2 in Europe, 5 in North America, 1 in South America, and number 2 in Middle East and Africa. And over the years, we have built a car park of more than 67 million vehicles. This is almost 10% of the global car park. Every region has a tailored and ambition plan to grow. In North America, we expect 25% growth in net revenue. And the focus is on expanding market coverage and improving cost. In Europe, we expect 15% growth through reshaping the brand portfolio while optimizing manufacturing footprint. In South America, we expect 10% growth by building on our leadership in Brazil and Argentina, launching a new pickup offensive, and growing in the other countries of the continent. In Middle East and Africa, we expect 40% growth driven by product localization and increased imports from our very competitive Asian partners. And in APAC, we are using these partnerships to enable capital-light growth and support exports to other regions. Tim, Emanuele, Erlander, Samir, Gregoire will share their plans today with you. Finally, but very important to me, this is the Stellantis leadership team. We are grounded in reality. We are humble. We have a hands-on approach. And we are close to the field. And today, this team and I will take you through Fastlane 2030. And we look forward to answering all your questions. Thank you very much.
At Stellantis, we are hands-on, hands working together, making, refining, hands that forge steel into family and create beautiful things, thrilling things, things that make us feel something, hands that redesign expectations, rewrite the future, and build vehicles that don't follow trends. They create culture. Hands that work in unison across the globe to make our stars shine brighter. There are no idle hands here, only working hands, proving that together we win.
Please welcome Davide Mele, Chief Product Planning Officer, and Ned Couric, Chief Engineering and Technology Officer.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. You just heard Antonio highlight how we allocate our R&D and CapEx. And over the next few minutes, Ned and I will focus on the 40% dedicated to global platforms and technologies, and how they support long-term value creation. I want to start with the key messages of our session. We simplify where scale matters, and we do through platform optimization, modularity, and global technology capabilities so that we can deploy capital efficiently. And we differentiate where customers care, giving our customer freedom of choice and our brands the ability to deliver distinct products and experiences. Technology is the lever that allows us to do both at the same time. At Stellantis, technology is made for humans. We believe that technology only matters if it serves real people in real use every day. Customer priorities vary by region, from fun to drive in the US, to the digital tech in China, and emission affordability in Europe and South America, but understanding these differences and balances with global strength and local pride sits at the core of our strategy. With this customer approach in mind, we are simplifying and modernizing Stellantis from the ground up, and not as a disconnected technologies, but as one coherent, scalable system. Our technology plan is built as a modular vertical stack from the vehicle's physical foundation all the way to the cloud. Reusable building blocks with standard interfaces allow us to scale and upgrade over time. And artificial intelligence acts as an accelerator across every layer. I will focus on how our platforms and powertrains deliver efficiencies and flexibility at scale before handing over to Ned for software and electronics. So let me start. Platforms and powertrains, because that is where our modular strategy becomes very concrete. On the platforms, our objective is twofold. On one side, we are extending our market coverage where demand is growing. In North America, for example, this includes adding mid-size and compact pickups and expanding into mid-size SUV and small vans. In Europe, it means strengthening our presence in the A segment and rebuilding a full C segment lineup, including affordable and compact SUVs. But on the other side, we'll drive simplification and scale. By 2030, in fact, 50% of our volume will sit on just 3 global platforms, with up to 70% component reuse. Our ambition is to streamline the number of platforms by about half, while expanding coverage across regions. And this is how we reduce complexity and unlock mega-scale efficiencies. Our powertrain approach follows the same logic. First, it's about broader coverage and freedom of choice. And as we launch more than 60 new products, we pursue a clear multi-energy strategy, investing in BEV, yes, and transitional technology like HEV, REV, to match different adoption speeds across regions. And second, it's about scale. By 2030, 3 million of our powertrains will be cross-regional, and we will reduce ICE families by 40%, maintaining full market coverage. So flexibility for customer goes hand in hand with capital discipline driven by scale and efficiency. And to make this concrete, let me introduce to Stellar One. Stellar One is a clear example of a truly modular design. A shared vehicle architecture paired with different powertrain modules through common interfaces. And that's to get to a flexibility without carrying inefficiencies from one propulsion system to another. We're launching Stellar One by 2027 to cover B, C, and D segments over time. It targets over 2 million units, supporting more than 30 models by 2035. Stellar One brings 5 different platforms into one scalable architecture. And it integrates Stellar Brain, Smart Cockpit, steer-by-wire, enabling faster feature deployment and brand-specific experiences on a shared core, as Ned will explain. Stellar One delivers around 20% cost reduction, driven by modularity by design and the new battery solutions. In fact, Stellar One is also the foundation of our updated battery strategy. It delivers 2-step changes. First, we scale LFP to improve affordability and reduce exposure to critical raw materials. Second, with cell-to-body integration, the battery becomes part of the vehicle, so cutting cost, weight, and complexity. Stellar One will also be 800-volt capable, delivering very competitive charging time and a better real-world BEV experience. So that's how we close the cost gap with Chinese OEMs operating in Europe and put ourselves on a clear path toward BEV cost parity over time. But let's now take a look at Stellar One.
Introducing Stellantis' Stellar One. Modular by design. The Stellar One platform allows for interchangeable propulsion systems based on regional or market needs. The platform is optimized for each configuration, so you don't carry the cost penalty of a traditional multi-energy architecture. It's scalable to meet market demands. Stellar One can be widened and lengthened to cover B, C, and D segments. It's embedded with the latest technology offered by Stellantis, including Stellar Brain, Stellar Smart Cockpit, and steer-by-wire. Stellar One closes the gap through the adoption of LFP battery chemistry and cell-to-body construction. This allows Stellar One to compete with the most competitive BEV offerings. Modular, scalable, with embedded technology. This is Stellar One.
Now, let me share a few additional key moves we're making to protect capability leadership and core profit pools. In Europe, with the e-car, we're creating a new affordable EV offer designed to broaden access to zero-emission mobility and strengthen Europe's competitiveness. It leverages our Chinese EV ecosystem while maintaining European safety and quality standards. On LCV, we're rolling out the next generation large van, combining best-in-class cargo capability with advanced connectivity and a 360-degree customer ecosystem. This will reinforce our leadership where uptime and productivity matter most. In North America, we're further strengthening our position with capable, powerful SUVs and pickups. We are introducing a range-extended EV, first to market for these segments. It covers up to 90% of daily driving in EV mode and adds vehicle-to-grid capability, bringing real customer value. At the same time, we're expanding our pickup lineup with new compact and mid-size pickup trucks, both built on a shared architecture and leveraging our global portfolio. This allows us to move fast, expand coverage, and deploy capital with discipline. I'll now hand over to Ned, who will walk you through how software and electronics bring this strategy to life.
Thank you, Davide. Thank you, Davide. What Davide just shared with you is our physical foundation of our technology strategy. And I will walk you through how software and electronics bring products to life. At the center of our strategy is Stellar Brain, our new electronics and software platform. Stellar Brain is a single global architecture that scales across all platforms and markets. It's a clear example of what Antonio talked about to our approach to efficient capital allocation. We simplify our scale methods to reduce complexity and cost. We own and build so many key technologies, but we're also smart. We partner with the key technology players when economically is better for us and strategically more viable. Let me show you what Stellar Brain is and why it matters to Stellantis.
To understand where we are going, look at where we've been. In today's system, the vehicle's brain is fragmented. Telematics, body, and driving systems all function independently. Now meet Stellar Brain. We are moving to an intelligent vehicle platform, cutting ECUs in half by consolidating multiple modules into one powerhouse system. At the core is the high-performance computer, up to 6 times more computing power, enabling advanced capabilities like crystal clear 3D surround view and AI that adapts to you. Bandwidth jumps by up to 1,000 times. That means faster data flow, smarter power management, and secure over-the-air updates that refresh the vehicle like a smartphone across different modules in parallel. Because it's powered by software, new experiences, from personalized comfort to branded lighting, become simple, scalable updates. It recognizes you, preparing the vehicle to your profile before you even get in. Stellar Brain isn't just an upgrade. It's a new digital nervous system, centralized, efficient, and scalable. That's the power of a human-centric experience. Tech you love because it feels like it was made for you.
As you've seen, Stellar Brain is a fundamental shift in how we design and operate vehicles, operating software and electronics platform. While the term software-defined vehicles is not very clear and really it means so many things to different people, Stellar Brain is our intelligent vehicle platform that puts us modern software at the heart of the vehicle. We are replacing dozens of fragmented systems with one unified, intelligent, scalable platform with native over-the-air capabilities. For our customers, this ensures that vehicles respond instantly and continuously improve over time. For example, Jeep owners will be able to download new off-road modes that automatically generate videos after their off-road trips. Pro One fleet managers will be able to update towing capabilities without pulling vehicles out of service. These are two of just many hundreds of new services we will deploy with Stellar Brain. Stellar Brain launches next year in Europe, arrives the following year in the United States, and it will scale up to 5 million vehicles globally by 2035. While Stellar Brain handles the invisible intelligence under the hood, Stellar Smart Cockpit is what our customers would actually see, touch, and experience. Let me show you how we translate digital cabin experience into a fresh and personalized experience for our customers and brands.
The future of the in-vehicle experience starts with one simple thing.
Hey, Jeep.
A hello.
Ni hao, Jeep.
Hola, Jeep. Vamos a casa. Gracias.
مساء الخير جيب. تقدرين تاخذيني إلى الأسواق؟ شكراً.
Alô, Jeep. Me leva pra praia, rápido.
Hey, Jeep. Can you ride me to the nearest steakhouse, please?
I've got it, Ricky. Here's a place you'll love. Great reviews, easy parking, and it's right on your way.
The best technology doesn't demand attention. It feels natural, effortless, personal. That's the beauty of Stellar Smart Cockpit. It understands what matters to you. Your routes, your preferences, your way of driving. One shared intelligence, distinct brand personalities.
Hey, Jeep. Go ahead and update the vehicle.
The integrated AI assistant speaks 21 languages, learns your habits, adapts to how you live, drive, and move. And it keeps getting better. With over-the-air updates, your vehicle stays current and evolves over time. Stellar Smart Cockpit. Made simple, made personal, made for humans.
Made for humans. Stellar Smart Cockpit is an AI-native platform, and it builds on the same logic of Stellar Brain, simplification and modernization. Smart Cockpit replaces what's today 12 different separate systems in one unified cockpit platform that works across all brands and regions. Each of our brands need to deliver a distinct cockpit experience for our customers. Stellar Smart Cockpit is designed for 85% of software usability, driving efficiency again, and cost discipline, which are still enabling our brands to provide specific customization. For customers, we bring seamless, intuitive, digital experience that always stays fresh, learns over time, and adapts to individual preferences. For example, we're taking Jeep off-road again. Cockpit automatically switches to off-road view, showing the trail maps, pitch and roll, cameras without any setup. When a Ram truck driver hooks up a trailer, the system automatically displays real-time payload, towing status, and the camera feeds. Smart Cockpit arrives in 2027 on a Stellar One in Europe, and a Jeep Grand Cherokee in North America the same year, scaling up to 5 million by 2035. With Stellar Brain and a Smart Cockpit, we build simplified yet intelligent, modern, and immersive digital foundation, which is AI native. Stellar Auto Drive brings our next generation active safety and assisted driving experience to scale. With Auto Drive, our strategy is yet another example of efficient capital allocation. We invest where we truly differentiate, such as vehicle integration, HMI, but we also partner for the best-in-class capabilities like AI driving models. On our current system, we are updating L2 service capability with 8 times more road coverage, automatic lane change, and towing support. All that while cutting system costs by 70%. This is a massive cost reduction, and it will accelerate adoption, expand deployment, and drive higher profitability. But we are going much further. Today, I'm happy to announce a close collaboration with Qualcomm and Wave to bring state-of-the-art, door-to-door, hands-free, supervised autonomous driving at scale. Customers will be able to enjoy a smooth, immersive, and safe out-of-drive experience, plus on city and highway roads with the multiple driving modes to choose from. The service will launch in 2028 on North American products. I understand some of you had experience yesterday. We didn't tell you while you're driving. For the others interested in test driving, we'll be very happy to offer early preview rides. Now, let me talk about artificial intelligence. As Antonio explained earlier, we have been all in on AI. We have deployed AI across the entire product development lifecycle, and it's paying off. First, we are engineering faster. AI accelerates simulation by up to 300 times and improves software productivity 37%, thanks to the code generation and automation. Second, we engineer better. AI helps us create simpler, cheaper, and more disruptive designs. And third, we engineer smarter. AI unlocks a global engineering knowledge, putting it directly into the hands of every Stellantis engineer. In product development, speed matters. And the reality is very clear today. Chinese are really setting the benchmark for the speed. And we are closing gap by changing how we build vehicles. First, we're combining simplified architectures we talked about with AI and virtual first development. Second, we are tearing down the walls. We had a lot of walls. We're tearing down the walls and integrating engineering, styling, purchasing, manufacturing to unified teams. And finally, we are supercharging this process with all the lessons learned from our partnership engagements. As a result, our full development cycle is shrinking from around 4 years to around 24 months without compromising quality or performance. Faster development life cycles are becoming a new standard at Stellantis. As you've seen, we're doing a lot, and we have a lot of work ahead of us. But we're on a strong path. Our direction is clear, and our progress is real. We are simplifying our architecture, modernizing our software, and accelerating our development timelines. We're empowering our brands to stand out. We're delivering better products and more intuitive experiences, all while keeping customer choice at the absolute center of our strategy. We're building technology made for humans, simplified at scale, differentiated where it matters. Thank you.
Nobody asked. And that's the thing about the future. Nobody asks for it. Nobody asked to take the roof off, or the doors off, or the road out of the equation. They were chasing a feeling. Nobody asked for something practical with this much charm. They needed something that fit their world without shrinking their personality. Nobody asked for another row of seats with screens. They needed more space and less stress. Nobody asked for performance to feel this instinctive, for comfort to feel this considered, for efficiency to feel this alive. Nobody asked. Nobody has to. Because the best answers show up before the question does.
Please welcome Antonio Filosa, Chief Executive Officer of Stellantis, and Tim Kuniskis, Head of North American Brands.
Thank you. Thank you, David and Ned. Let's now turn to North America. This region represents the biggest opportunity for our growth and our profitability. So let's dive in. Our ambition is to grow revenues in North America by 25% through 2030. To do that, we have two essential objectives. Number one, expand market coverage. And number two, improve cost. Expanding market coverage means that we have strong brands that are currently participating in a limited portion of the market. To address this, we will grow our offerings in new segments. increasing market coverage from 60% today to over 90%. As we do this, we will improve our cost competitiveness through cost efficiency and improved capacity utilization. This will ensure that volume growth translates directly into sustainable profit expansion. Let me take a minute to put this region into perspective. North America represents about 40% of Stellantis revenues today. We have some of the strongest and most iconic brands in the industry, some of the most iconic products in the market, and we have a very strong dealer network. At the same time, we have a huge opportunity with significant headroom for growth. There are attractive segments of the markets where we are not fully participating today. And that is our opportunity, to leverage our strong brands and to drive deeper market penetration. The good news is that we are seeing encouraging momentum from action we already took. In Q1, shipments were up 17%, revenue up 11%, AOI improved by 800 million euros. This was disciplined growth, supported by 200 million euros in pricing improvement. This reflects real transformation in the business. We are seeing positive product mix, and we are seeing strong commercial execution. A good first step, but this is only a first step into a long journey. So let's talk about what that journey will look like over the next 5 years. By 2030, we will fully refresh our North America showroom, adding 11 all-new nameplates and refreshing 12 current models. We will launch a strong product offensive grounding in offering customer the powertrain freedom of choice they want and they deserve. We will deliver a more efficient lineup of ICE vehicles, including the return of the legendary Hemi V8. We will expand our hybrid offering. We will introduce a new range-extended EV, including the industry's first range-extended large SUV and the industry's first range-extended pickup. And we will focus on the next wave of electrification. For example, the new Jeep Recon BEV coming soon this year. With these new and refreshed products, we will increase our market coverage to 90%, from below 60% today. We will enter 5 new segments where we are currently not participating, including the rollout of a new mid-size pickup truck, a new compact pickup, and a new small van. We will reinforce our existing segment, adding a new compact UV and doubling down in large SUVs. And we will introduce 7 new affordable offerings, including some priced below $30,000, leveraging our new competitive platforms. So this is both expansion and reinforcement, and it is a step change from where we are today. But growth cannot come at the expense of profitability. So in parallel, we are structurally optimizing cost. Through our value creation program, we will deliver more than 3 billion euros in run rate saving in North America, this region, by 2028. This will allow us to compete more effectively on price while maintaining discipline on margins. In addition, we will improve our capacity utilization to around 80% by 2030. We will do this by driving volume growth, increasing US production, which will help offset tariff pressures, and strengthening our partnership, including more capacity sharing with key partners. So we are not choosing between growth and profitability. We will improve both together. And obviously, all starts with our iconic brands. So with that, I would like to turn the presentation over to Tim Kuniskis.
Thank you, Antonio. Good morning, everybody. Look, we all know how fast this industry turns and how complicated it has become. The sales funnel used to be so simple, but no matter how the journey changes, no matter how customers shop, no matter what powers the wheels, one thing has never changed, and I hope it never does. Product is king. All of the digital marketing, digital retailing, new shopping models, they can't fix a bad product. They can only amplify a good one. That's our entire strategy. Our plan for North America is very simple. Get the product right. Right for the market, right for the brand positioning, right for segment expansion, right for growth, and right to recover our customer loyalty. Now let's start with the reality. 2025 is our baseline. The industry was 20 million units in North America and 16.6 million in the US. And we sold 1.5 million in North America and 1.3 million in the US. That put us number 5 out of 41 brands in the industry and 7.6% market share. But here's what really matters. In the segments where we actually compete, our share doubles and we move up to number 3. So without doing anything different, we can grow by just showing up in more segments. And that's key because the industry isn't going to help us. It's expected to be flat through 2030. And we all know that won't cut it because our plan is to grow 35%. The question is how? Product, 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 and leveraging something that no one else has. Our 4 iconic brands in one showroom. Every day on social media, there's hundreds of posts from our customers talking about what they love about our products, customized and personalized for their lives. That's what makes our brand special. Our customers love the products. Our customers love them for different reasons, though. But there's one common thread. The diversity of our brands, the diversity of our products gives our customers freedom of choice. Most competitors give you one brand, one identity. We give you 4. So when you walk into a Stellantis dealership, it's not a showroom. It's like an auto show. Now looking first at the Chrysler brand. The Chrysler customer isn't trying to impress the valet with their key fob. They prioritize other things, and their choice of transportation reflects that. Every new car buyer wants a product that's functional and practical. It's just that with our other brands, that could be second, third, or fourth on their list of why buys. Things like towing, performance, or capability may come first. But the reality in the market is 35% of the buyers are looking for functionality and practicality first. So the answer is clear. It is essential that we bolster the Chrysler brand portfolio. Essential because not doing that would force us to relinquish 35% of the psychological why buys of the entire industry. Now think about it. As it sits today, Chrysler isn't cannibalizing a single sale at Stellantis. Now, if we asked another brand to stretch or contort into that positioning, I can't promise the same. So the question is, can Chrysler be more than the minivan brand? Clearly, it has been much more in the past, or it would have never survived 100 years. But when your showroom covers North America with brands like Jeep, Dodge, Ram, do you really need Chrysler? Absolutely you do. So short term, we will strengthen Pacifica with a mid-cycle refresh launching right now, plus new variants coming soon. But the real growth comes from expansion and adding 3 new crossovers below the Pacifica. First, a mid-size crossover based on the Stella One platform, plus 2 others below that are variants of each other based on shared and proven platforms out of Europe, allowing Chrysler to enter the $25,000 to $35,000 space where today none of the American brands compete. Because a purchase decision built around practicality should leverage affordability. The expansion of the Chrysler brand also allows us to support the brand purity in our showroom, so that a brand like Dodge doesn't need to conform, and it can maintain its positioning and let the Dodge buyers stand out. Now, just like Chrysler, they need transportation, but it is far from their first priority. They are all in on power, performance, and customization. Now, sure, a Dodge can get you from point A to point B, just like a Chrysler, but the trip will make a point. It will make a statement about the person behind the wheel along the way. Dodge buyers are different because Dodge works when it's not pretending. Dodge works when it's being honest and true to what it should be: powerful, rebellious, authentic, and muscular. This is the brand's positioning in its purest form. Now, looking back a few years, Dodge wasn't surviving, it was thriving. It had a cult following that became known as the Brotherhood of Muscle. But lately, that Dodge formula, it wasn't adding up. And the brand struggled through a very tough point in its product's life cycle. Last year, Dodge was selling 1 SUV, the Durango, and only 1 version of the Charger, 2-door only and electric only. Yet, it still delivered 125,000 units. Now, this year, Dodge is shifting into second gear. We just started shipping 2-door and 4-door Chargers with 420 horsepower and 550 horsepower gas powertrains. And a refreshed Durango is on the way. The big news, though, is that we're going to be adding a true entry-level performance vehicle, a gateway into the Brotherhood of Muscle. Think of it as the next generation of Hornet, but the way we should have done it the first time. Look, we know this playbook. We wrote this playbook. Dodge will literally be back on track, literally and figuratively, by the end of the plan, and Dodge will be restored to its proper position, and we will recover the #1 selling muscle car title. Then there's Jeep. Jeep isn't just a brand. Has there ever been a brand name that is the same as what most people call the product category? You know what I mean. Regardless of the brand, a lot of people call SUVs Jeeps. Jeep is like Coca-Cola. Jeep is the original. This brand turned capability into a mainstream why buy. And that's why so many brands are trying to copy Jeep. Because as an industry, we have democratized features and finishes. Today, capability and performance drive pricing power and margins. And Jeep is synonymous with capability, and everyone knows it. So the brand attracts a very unique buyer. You know these people, they're your neighbors. They're always taking their family on adventures, loading up every weekend to go somewhere new. They leave their Jeeps muddy in the driveway. And for them, it's not just about the adventure. It's about the stories they formed getting there. The Jeep brand didn't just kick off the SUV craze, it created the design language that continues to define it today. It proved that off-road capability was capable of moving the needle of consideration by creating a segment from scratch. This buyer is looking for adventure, open-air driving, and empowering the owner's outdoor lifestyle, whether they actually use it or not. Now, last year, the Jeep brand was selling 5 models, ranging from the compact Compass all the way to the Grand Wagoneer, with the iconic Wrangler anchoring the brand's off-road positioning. Today, the Jeep brand is on a product launch offensive, launching 4 new products right now: the all-new battery electric Recon, the all-new Cherokee, a refresh of the Grand Wagoneer, and a refresh of the #1 selling full-size SUV Grand Cherokee, plus the 12 for 12 program with a new Wrangler launching every single month. But this is just the start. During the planned period, Jeep is also adding an ICE powertrain to the Recon, a new Compass, refreshing the Grand Cherokee and the Grand Wagoneer again, plus new heritage redesigns of the Wrangler and Gladiator. The combination pushes Jeep performance back near its historical high levels, making Jeep the fastest growing SUV brand in North America. But there's one more powerhouse brand in our stable, the fastest growing brand in North America in Q1 this year, Ram. Ram buyers count on their vehicles to deliver purpose-built capability, no posing, no pretending, real trucks. They want products that define the role, purposeful, strong, capable, and dependable, while still being a personal expression. The Ram buyer, just like Dodge, they still want to make a statement, but they need a cargo bed to put to work. To this demographic, beauty runs beyond skin deep. So we have been pushing hard on Ram the last 15 months, rebuilding the positioning and the product portfolio. And as some of you have pointed out, growing our inventory levels as we balance our mix and prepare for growth, not maintenance. Not just because we love trucks, but because we love the profitability that they drive. The full-size truck industry in North America is commonly referred to as a battleground for OEMs. And it's easy to see why, when you consider that it represents about 16% of the industry sales, but nearly 40% of the profits. Nothing stops Ram is not our tagline. It's a rally cry wrapped in a promise. Because today, we sell just 3 products: a light-duty truck, a heavy-duty truck, and a commercial cargo van. These 3 products delivered 500,000 units last year. 500,000 units is decent volume, but it is nowhere near where we plan to be by 2030. And like I said earlier, we can't reach our aspirations on execution alone. We need to deliver the right products for the market, the right products for the truck buyers in North America. We need to leverage the capital of confidence that we have earned with more offerings in more segments for more share. And right now, we are growing our volume with new variants like the Hemi models and the TRX, plus expanding our coverage into the fastest growing part of the truck industry with our new Express models and relaunching the ProMaster City small cargo van. Next, we will create a new white space in the truck market, a new territory that we will define and own. Today, all OEMs offer off-road variants of their trucks. Ram will be the first to add a full line of on-road performance muscle trucks. This expansion formula will be leveraged even further, though. First, with a new compact truck based on the Rampage out of South America. Then, we will launch an all-new midsize truck, the Dakota. And finally, a third new entry for Ram with a full-size SUV, the Ram Charger. Plus, during the planned period, we will also launch an all-new light-duty truck, an all-new range-extended truck, an all-new heavy-duty truck, and a new ProMaster van. The Ram product range will be 100% refreshed and 50% all-new and incremental. Ram will deliver the freshest and most powerful lineup of trucks in the industry, with nearly 1 million units by the end of the planned period and move into the #2 position. Then finally, the brand that isn't really a brand, but it has come to stand for winning, SRT. It's not a brand, it's a multiplier. It turns great products into halo products. It's American premium. Think about it like deciding it's time to reward yourself with your dream car, but you love the brand in the car that you already have. The formula is very straightforward. SRT will leverage the existing nameplates and investments to deliver ultimate performance versions. We will use SRT across Dodge, Jeep, and Ram to build emotion, excitement, and margin. The SRT products are the essence of halo and brand building. These models don't just elevate the whole brand, they draw a younger and more affluent customer. They generate 2 to 3 times the net margin of the donor vehicle. Now in 2025, we only had one, the Durango Hellcat. But this year, we're adding the Ram TRX and the Ram Rumblebee. And we have plans for 8 additional models over the planned period, which will push SRT sales to roughly 50,000 units. But remember the economics. That 50,000 is the same as 100 to 150,000 non-SRTs. It's not ego, it's not for fun, it's not a hobby. This is real brand and margin building. and doing it efficiently, leveraging donor vehicle product development and investment. This is more than a product strategy, it's a profit strategy. All in, by the end of the plan period, this is what the American brand showrooms will look like. 23 models, every single one new or significantly refreshed, and 11 of the 23 completely new. Those of you that are here live, you'll see these in the Dome later today. Plus, key to that incremental growth in product is capitalizing on a critical part of the market that we barely compete in today. The 40% of the industry that transacts below $40,000. In 2025, we had just 2 vehicles with a starting price under $40,000. By 2030, we will have 9 vehicles starting under $40,000, 2 of which will be the new Chrysler starting under $30,000. With that, the American brand showroom will grow our market coverage from 60% to 90%. And 50% of that will be all new net products that weren't there in 2025. So like I said on my first slide, everyone says they will execute better. And of course that is part of our plan. But we are not relying on that alone. Our plan for the American brands is to focus on the one absolute truth in this industry. Product is king. 50% of the new products weren't in the showroom in 2025, generating a 50% increase in industry market coverage, delivering a 35% increase in sales. 50, 50, 35 will deliver an American brand showroom that is the freshest in the industry. Jeep will be back to its peak. Ram will be at an all-time high and number 2 in trucks. Dodge will be leading muscle cars again, and Chrysler will be growing and supporting the brand positioning and purity in our showroom. But there's one more thing. I talked about inventing a new breed of muscle, a new white space in the truck industry, not a trim or a package, a full range of what we call the muscle trucks. These are the all-new 2027 Ram Rumblebee muscle trucks. This is the all-new Ram 1500 Rumblebee. 5.7-liter V8, 395 horsepower, 0 to 60 in just over 6 seconds, and only 1 battery. It has 4-wheel drive for maximum traction and rear-wheel drive for when you want to have some fun. Exclusive quad cab, short bed design, drop stance, street-tuned suspension, and full wide body. You don't give up the back seat, the bed, or the practicality. We're talking real capability, real payload, and no compromises. For most trucks, that would be the headline. But for the Rumblebee, that's just the starting line. This is the 392 Hemi Apache with 470 horsepower. You've been asking for this forever. The legendary 392 Hemi in a light duty. Purpose-built, performance-focused, and an interior with everything a muscle truck demands. 0 to 60 in the 5s, same 4 doors, same capability, but a lot more attitude. Some people just can't stay retired. Come on, Smoke. At least give me the jump. Does this guy ever stop talking? Welcome to the jungle, won't it bring you to your Give me the SRT. Now that's the last 10th. This is the supercharged Hemi Rumblebee SRT. 0 to 60 in the 3s, 777 horsepower. All right, I see you. That's what I'm talking about. The fastest production truck ever. Welcome to the jungle, won't you bring it to your...
Thank you, Tim. To summarize our plan for North America, it starts with leveraging our strengths. We will capitalize on the strength of our iconic brands, build on the strong and positive momentum that began in the first quarter, and capitalize on the strong presence we have in our existing markets. But we will build on those strengths by taking decisive actions. We will execute on the value creation program, delivering more than 3 billion euros in savings by 2028. We will expand market coverage, delivering a full and competitive lineup across key segments. And we will grow our lineup of affordable offerings to bring Stellantis products to an even larger group of customers. So when you bring this all together, strong brands, increasing market coverage, refreshed portfolio, and the savings from the value creation program, you get a business that is positioned for profitable growth. And that leads us to our 2030 ambition. We are targeting around 25% revenue growth, an AOI margin from 8 to 10%. This reflects a business that is not only larger, but also structurally more competitive. A business with broader market coverage, stronger cost base, and improved profitability. So this is more than just a long-term ambition. It is a path that is already in motion. Thank you.
Please welcome Emanuele Capilano, Chief Operating Officer, Enlarged Europe.
Hello, everyone. Enlarged Europe is at the core of Stellantis' identity and history. Many of our iconic brands were born in this region, and some more than 1 century ago. As mentioned by Antonio earlier, I will walk you through the main pillars of the European strategy, and we will focus mainly on 3 main actions. First, we will further differentiate brand and expand the market coverage. Second, we will drive cost competitiveness. And third, we will increase capacity utilization. But first, I want to start with our customer, because they define who we are, and they are at the center of everything we do. We have one of the largest car parks in Europe, with over 34 million customers. And we are ready to serve millions more and inspire them with our iconic brands and with our strong dealer network across Europe. Over 4,000 dealers supporting us every day. But let's look at Enlarged Europe today. In 25, we sold 2.5 million vehicles in 45 countries, almost half of Stellantis' global volume. In market share, we are number 2 OEM in Europe. We are number 1 in commercial vehicles. We are number 1 in hybrids. And we lead the market in France and Italy. This is a strong foundation. Today, we will share our plan for Enlarged Europe. Sustainable and profitable growth driven by iconic brand and new competitive platforms. To start, a quick look to the first quarter result. If we compare with quarter 1 25, shipments were up 12%. Market share increased 20 basis points. BEV sales were up 24%, showing that our electrification strategy is gaining momentum. AOI is at break-even, despite pressure on margin driven by electrification, and improved compared with the prior quarter. Overall, this result confirms a positive trend for Europe. But let me now highlight 3 key assumptions about the European market. First, we expect the market to be stable at around 50 million units. Second, the market is concentrated in three main segments: the small vehicle, the compact vehicle, and the vans. Together, they represent more than 75% of the total market, and those are our target segment. Third, the most important, regulation is shaping the European market with a clear trend towards accelerated electrification. By the end of the decade, the share of fully electric vehicles will triple on both passenger car and commercial vehicles. The European Union has engaged a review of the CO2 legislation. Discussions are ongoing to ease the compliance trajectory. In particular, the target on light commercial vehicles do not reflect the overall market demand for BEVs. In addition, the European Union proposed to introduce Made in Europe requirements with the Industrial Accelerator Act. As Stellantis, we strongly support both of these developments, and we are in a good dialogue with the institution. The Made in Europe policy is key to create an effective level playing field for all the players in the European market. This will protect European jobs and manufacturing, and strengthen relative competitiveness and resilience of the European automotive industry. Our plan incorporates these policy directions, and it is designed to deliver as they are enacted. But now let's move to our strategy for a profitable growth. This is basically based on three pillars that I mentioned at the first slide. First, we will further differentiate our brands and expand the market coverage. Each brand has a clear mission, and new products will expand the market coverage by 25%, and we will reinforce the offering of the Pro One business unit. Second, we will drive cost competitiveness. Thanks to the new platform, we will narrow the BEV ICE cost gap and electrify in a profitable way. On top of that, the value creation program will deliver 3 billion annual cost optimization. Third, we will improve industrial utilization from 60 to 80%, reducing the total capacity installed by 800,000 units. So let me expand on it, starting with our iconic brands. In a few moments, the brand CEOs will show the strong complementarity of the European brands, both from a geographical perspective and through their very distinctive product attributes, reflecting their origin and their strengths. For now, I want to highlight three clear decisions to differentiate our brand across Europe. Number one, as a global company, we leverage on global assets, shared platform, powertrain, and technologies. In Europe, these are launched by our global brands that are Peugeot and Fiat. The number two, our regional brands will scale these assets: Opel Vauxhall, Citroën, and Alfa Romeo. Each brand adds its own DNA and brand expression. Third, DS and Lancia, being specialty brand, will be managed by Citroën and Fiat, reflecting their largely national identity focused on France and Italy. Pairing DS with Citroën and Lancia with Fiat will enable scale and efficiency while preserving each brand's identity. Across our brand, we will launch more than 25 all-new products and over 25 refreshed products. These launches will increase market coverage by 25%, renewing almost the whole portfolio in Europe. And on powertrain, we believe in giving customers the freedom of choice. For this reason, we will expand the powertrain coverage by 35% through new BEVs, full hybrid, and plug-in hybrids. As you can see, our product and technology plan is significant and not at all capital constrained. Of the 50 launches mentioned, the majority will be in the A, B, and C segment. Stellantis is the #1 in small vehicle, and we will build on our leadership while improving profitability with 23 launches in the A and B segment. While C segment is where we see strong growth potential for Stellantis. This segment represents 30% of the European market by volume, and it is also the largest profit pool. So growing in C segment is a key part of the strategy for profitability and BV sales of Stellantis. We will have 20 launches covering the full range of the segment, from affordable to compact to crossover model. Let me now turn to Pro One, our business unit dedicated to serve professional customers and the key driver for success of Stellantis in Europe. I have the privilege to lead this business unit globally, and today Pro One is the #1 in Europe and the #2 worldwide. Our ambition is to be the global #1, and we will achieve this by focusing on two main things. First, product, with 2 new best-in-class van generation and 11 new vehicles globally. Second, we are currently launching a state-of-the-art service ecosystem for professionals to increase our customer productivity and lower the total cost of ownership. Let's move now to our second pillar, the cost competitiveness. Stella One is the perfect example of the way we develop global assets and scale them across all the brands, spending better and not spending more. As explained by Ned and Davide, Stella One delivers new technology, reduces the cost by 20%, and it is competitive across all levels of electrification. So how do we deploy it? Peugeot will be the first brand launching in 2027, followed by Opel, Jeep, and Alfa Romeo, combining the platform with their unique DNA to serve specific customers and markets. At full scale, Stella One will reach up to 1 million vehicles per year in Europe. Another great example is the new e-car platform. In 2028, we will open a new segment of the European market focused on affordability. In short, full electric below 15,000 euros. With the car, we reach cost parity between the BV and ICE. This is a major milestone to make electrification profitable. And the car will be also a strong CO2 compliance tool, proudly made in Europe, and the production will start in Pomigliano plant. Further driving cost competitiveness topic, Stellantis will be even stronger in Europe by partnering with other OEMs. Antonio mentioned the strong momentum of Leapmotor International, our 51 joint venture with Leapmotor. In 2025, it sold 34,000 vehicles in Europe, and the number will double this year. We will expand even more on this partnership by sharing industrial capacity in Zaragoza and Madrid, and joining forces and supplier base. Now, on Dongfeng, our historical partner in China. With Dongfeng, we will create a new European joint venture, 51% owned by Stellantis, and increase the commercial collaboration in Europe and for sales and distribution. Share industrial capacity in REN, and cooperate on purchasing and engineering. Strong partnership create value on both sides. On product portfolio, our product portfolio are complementary, avoiding commercial overlap. Industrially, they unlock scale, capital and cost synergy, and they accelerate execution. The third pillar of our strategy is improving industrial capacity utilization. Today, our utilization rate is around 60%, And our ambition is to be the best in class at 80%. We will reduce production capacity by 800,000 units without any plant shutdown. And basically, we increase utilization in three main ways. The first, by repurposing plant. And this is what we recently announced for Poissy, where the plant will move from vehicle assembly to part manufacturing and a circular economy hub. Second, we are sharing capacity with our partner, expanding in Europe. As we already mentioned, Zaragoza, Madrid, and Rennes. Last but not least, an increase in volume driven by new launches and market coverage expansion. This industrial transformation is a fundamental step to improve profitability. But now it's time to give you more color on our brand and product. And to do that, I invite the 4 brand CEOs to join me on the stage.
Some things can't be built overnight. Trust takes decades. Culture can't be assembled on a line. Since 1810, we've been pioneering the roads of Europe, building more than legacy, building an engine. Every reinvention a step forward. Every innovation a spark. Compounding. The next icons are already in motion, powered by everything we've built. Each brand now propelled further and faster by the engine underneath. Stellantis. Designed to move the future.
Good morning. So my name is Olivier François. Today, our pitch is pretty simple and it's twofold. Message number one, Europe is not one market, it's many markets. Different driving cultures, different needs, different realities. Sounds complicated, maybe, but that's exactly our edge, our advantage. Because message number two, one size fits all does not win in Europe. The winning formula is a handful of distinct brands with the right synergies underneath. Emanuele spoke to the synergies, and later we'll talk about the complementarity. So for now, our European showroom, how will it benefit from what Emanuele just described? So since I have the stage, I can start with Fiat. So it's a global brand with 1.4 million cars this year. Now, keep in mind, half of my sales are outside Europe, so I need a very efficient lineup. So this is my showroom in Europe today. On one hand, micromobility, and this is Topolino, a tremendous success so far. Then urban mobility, Cinquecento, Pandina, and Grande Panda. And these are true love brands, absolute segment leaders. So what's next? Fiat remains big at small, committed to urban mobility. So we will add a three-wheeler in typical Italian spirit, cutest object on planet LCV, Emanuele, and soon a bigger sister for Topolino, 2 doors, 4 seats. Then a new Cinquecento and our own version of the e-car. So what you see here, by the way, is just a sketch. Actually, we had fun with a bunch of with our design team and a bunch of students all together trying to imagine the future of urban mobility. They really inspired us. And trust me, the final design, the real design is stunning. It's not a revival of an icon. It's literally the next icon. Next, and I'll show it live during the breakup session, the new Fiat Grizzly. And you see 2 silhouettes. Why? Because, again, it's designed for 3 regions of the world. It completes the Panda and Grande Panda family. Same DNA, still built on smart car, but it's a bigger animal. It will not just elevate the market share, it will elevate everything. The mix, the revenue, the margins, the brand. Bottom line, 5 all-new cars, 3 mobility devices, you see, with Fiat. Everything you heard from Antonio and Emanuele really comes to life. And with that, let me hand it over to Alain for Peugeot.
Thank you, Olivier. Well, I can tell you one thing today, well, the lion is coming. Born 216 years ago, today, Peugeot is a leading European upper mainstream brand with a global footprint. Today, we cover the B, the C, and the D segment with a lineup of 7 beautiful and very competitive models. And by 2030, we will introduce 7 new models, including 4 that will expand market coverage and profitability. Starting in the B segment, we will add 2 brand new BEV models based on the efficient Stella One platform. These cars will complement the existing 208 and 2008 in the B segment. In the C segment, we'll renew our entire lineup and add a brand new compact multi-energy C SUV also based on the new Stella One platform. That will double our coverage in the C SUV segment, the most important profit pool in the European market. And at the top of the range, well, as part of our renewed partnership with Dongfeng, we will add a dynamic D segment offer. All of our new models will feature the latest efficient BEV technology, as well as innovations, including our unique and patented Hypersquare with steer-by-wire, all designed to build on our brand promise and show we're serious about delivering pleasure to our customers. And with that, I hand it over to you, Xavier, for Citroën.
Thank you, Alain, and good morning. In Europe, Citroën is focused on one thing: delivering more value where customers feel it most. And you see behind me, in less than 2 years, we have renewed our entire lineup, starting with the C3 up to the C5 Aircross. And our products are designed around one simple idea: what really matters to people: simplicity, comfort, affordability, and freedom of choice. The result? Citroën has delivered a double-digit growth since the beginning of the year. But beyond the numbers, one thing is becoming clear again: life is better in a Citroën. Yeah. And Citroën tomorrow starts today. By 2030, Citroën will have 7 launches. We will renew the complete segments where we today operate, focusing on accessible mobility. And we will expand our lineup with 2 additional models that will cover new profit pools. But you know, products alone do not create icons. Icons create emotion. Icons reconnect brands with people. And today, one icon is about to return. Yes, the 2 chevaux, the 2CV, is back. So I'm really sorry, we shot the car in a tunnel. If you want to see it with full light, you are highly invited in Paris Motor Show in October. Wait a bit, wait a bit. But you know, it's a very important moment because in 1948, the 2CV gave freedom of mobility to millions. And 80 years later, the new 2CV will democratize electric mobility. 100% electric, made in Europe, below 15,000 euros. A true people's car designed for real life. For me, the future of mobility will not be won by the most complex cars, but by the simplest and the most intuitive ones. Because what truly matters is to be relevant. Simply relevant. The return of the 2CV, Citroën is back. Back to the future. Florian, up to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Xavier. Opel is firmly rooted in Northern Europe. Germany, and with Vauxhall the UK, are our home countries. It is here where electrification is the most advanced in Europe today. And our strong northern footprint is a key asset to the group for geographical coverage. By 2030, Opel will bring 4 new models to the market. We will renew existing bestsellers, such as the Corsa and expand our coverage in the C-SUV segment. The Corsa is an icon for us, with more than 15 million units sold. The next generation Corsa will be based on Stella One. It will make electric mobility exciting and accessible to everyone. Expansion, we will further strengthen Opel's portfolio coverage with a significant new entry in Europe's most important segment. Opel's new full battery electric C-SUV is a blueprint for efficient global collaboration. It represents a major step forward for the brand. Designed and created by Opel in Germany, it features our next generation design and driving experience. We will develop this vehicle in partnership with Leapmotor and in less than 2 years. Efficient manufacturing in Europe, high quality standards and advanced technology, the project delivers strong cost competitiveness and the best of both worlds. It will confidently represent Opel in the biggest segment in Europe. And with this, back to you, Emanuele.
Thank you, Florian. Let me just now give a few words on Alfa Romeo, a very special brand for Stellantis. Today, we have a very exciting lineup, and in the coming year, this fantastic brand will fully benefit from our global asset, including the Stella One, while amplifying its DNA done by passion, performance, and a bold Italian character. And more to come for sure with Alfa Romeo. And now back to mainstream brands, starting with you, Alain.
Well, thank you, Emanuele. So let's recap how each of us is going to expand in Europe by 2030. For Peugeot, well, we will launch 7 new models, and I mean brand new models, not facelifts, between now and 2030. 4 of these will be based on the new Stella One platform. The first comes next year in the shape of the new E208, a real game changer for us and for the European market, I would say. This rapid rollout will generate scale and efficiency for Stellantis and will increase Peugeot's profitable market coverage by 15 points to 60% in 2030.
And with 4 new models until 2030 for Opel, we will strengthen our presence in core European segments, and we will be able to offer our customers accessible, appealing, and technologically advanced Opel products. The models I showed you in detail, the next generation Corsa and the new Opel C-SUV, are testament to our benchmark global collaboration, embodying strong Opel design, Stellantis architectures, and advanced technology from our partnership. They will be made in Europe, launched very soon, and ensure long-term value creation for Stellantis.
And Citroën is back on the offensive. Before 2030, we'll launch 3 major new products, leveraging the competitiveness of smart car platform. And we will grow where value matters most. And thanks to the e-car, with this new platform, we can finally bring back the 2CV. Not as a nostalgic icon, but as a bold new answer to accessible electric mobility. 15 points of additional market coverage, driven by 2 additional segments. And thanks to this, Citroën will be stronger, broader, and more relevant than ever.
And last but not least, Fiat, 5 new vehicles, massive expansion of coverage from 1/4 to the market last year to half of it. As I mentioned, the backbone of our lineup will be smart car, Grande Panda, Grizzly, and in 2029, a 3rd family mover, by the way, a super innovative concept, a potential market disruptor, and hopefully I'll present it in Paris as well. Extra Boost, our e-car, you heard from Emanuele before. And by the way, Emanuele, the floor is yours again.
Thank you, Olivier. Now, you see each brand cover around 50% of the market. But that is where our strong complementarity comes in. Because together we reach over 90% on mainstream industry coverage. So all we have described in this presentation translates into clear financial target. Revenue growth up to 50% as a result of product launches and technology introduction, together with increased BEV competitiveness. 3 to 5 AOI margin driven by revenue growth, more cost-competitive vehicle platform, and by 3 billion euro cost optimization through the value creation program, with our CFO, Joao, will describe in a few moments. And this is the story for Europe. A rational business approach based on 3 strategic pillars, but also an emotional, colorful, and competitive lineup with our amazing brands. Thank you very much.
Streets don't lie. Streets don't care about your PowerPoint, your quarterly targets, your org chart. Streets are narrow in Rome, dusty in Texas, relentless in Rio, vibrant in Cape Town, silent in Tokyo, and alive in Istanbul. Streets ask one question: can you handle us? Being global is more than counting cars. It's knowing the streets of the world, almost one by one. Yes, leveraging our scale to handle every street better than anyone is our superpower. Street smart, world scale.
Please welcome Herlander Zola, Chief Operating Officer, South America.
Good morning all. Let me start with the key elements of our strategy in South America. Building on Antonio's message, I will go deeper into how we approach the region and how we will use our position to sustain leadership and deliver consistent results. I will walk you through that. Please, follow me. First, let's put South America into perspective. In 2025, the region represented 5% of global industry and almost 20% of Stellantis global sales. As we can see here, we closed the year as #1 in sales with more than 1 million units sold, more than 22% market share, and over 30% in Brazil and Argentina. This leadership comes from Fiat and light commercial vehicles dominance, the strength of Jeep SUVs and Ram pickups, and the solid contribution of Peugeot and Citroën, mainly in Argentina and Chile. But now, the real challenge: how do we keep this position while Chinese brands advance? In Brazil and Argentina, we start from a position that no Chinese player can replicate. High level of localization, the strongest supplier base of the industry, a strong dealer network, and more than 4,000 local engineers who developed smart and affordable technologies such as biohybrid, the combination of electric and ethanol-based engines. This local capability allows us to deeply understand customer needs and deliver the right products for them. The Chinese offensive is real. It's aggressive. Many OEMs are losing market share. Our strategy will allow us to keep our leadership and our consistent results. And how do we face what is coming? First, we protect the entry segments. Here, Chinese brands are not strong. It's an ICE segment. Brand equity, trust, counts a lot. And we are going to bring 3 new Fiat products to be even stronger in that market. Second, we expand our leadership in pickups. Where the profit pool is largest and the Chinese brands have not entered yet, we leverage the power of the Ram brand. We launched the new Ram Dakota, and we also renewed 3 new pickups: Ram Rampage, Fiat Toro, and Fiat Strada. We have a proven track record here with products fully developed in the region, such as Fiat Strada, that has been the market leader for 5 years in a row. And third, we compete head-on in SUVs, with the strength of Jeep brand, expanding the coverage with Avenger, and a fully renewed lineup with the new Renegade, new Compass, and new Commander. With Leapmotor, we also improve our competitiveness in SUVs, exploring the complementarity of their portfolio and taking advantage of the local production at Pernambuco plant. This is strategic. It's a very important leverage against the other OEMs in the region. And now, let's move to our next growth frontier, Chile, Colombia, and the Andean region. Industry volumes here are expected to grow more than 23% in the next 5 years, reaching over 1.5 million vehicles. These are open markets. We have a very good brand image, especially with Jeep and Peugeot. But until now, we could not use this advantage because more than 60% of the industry comes from Asian sourcing. And this is changing. Now, we have a clear strategic opportunity driven by Leapmotor and the other new partnerships. This enables us to source new Jeep and Peugeot products from China and India, and supports our ambition to grow from 5 to 10% market share in these markets. Looking ahead to 2030, our ambition is clear. Deliver consistent double-digit revenue growth, sustain profitability between 8 and 10%, and maintain our leadership in South America. We have strong brands, a solid industrial footprint, and the ability to translate local customer insights into successful products. This, combined with the pickup expansion plan and our strategic partnerships, gives us full confidence that we are going to sustain our leadership and our profitability. Thank you for the attention.
Please welcome Samir Sherfan, Chief Operating Officer, Middle East and Africa.
Thank you. Good morning. In the Middle East and Africa, as shared by Antonio, we aim to increase our revenues by 40% while keeping a double-digit margin. We will achieve this through a competitive transformation of our vehicle sourcing, leveraging and expanding our manufacturing footprint in the region for the region, and importing key products from Asia. Middle East and Africa is a diverse region full of potential, one of the fastest growing automotive markets in the world. Today, it represents 25% of the world population. In 50 years, that figure will reach 40%, and the region is very rich in resources, oil, gas, minerals. Stellantis is already at scale in that region. We have been the #2 player in MEA for 4 consecutive years. We sell over 500,000 vehicles with a double-digit margin. Our top 6 brands represent 90% of our sales. We enable all this with 2,000 sales and after-sales touchpoints, nearly 1 million vehicles of manufacturing capacity, and the proper skills and partnerships. In the Mediterranean crown, the north of the region, we lead the market with 25% market share. Our plants in Morocco and Turkey are among the most competitive in Stellantis. At the same time, we have untapped potentials, Middle East, South Africa. This is especially true for Jeep, despite the strong brand equity in these markets. So the strategy, we want to transform competitively the vehicle sourcing. We want to go from 30% of the vehicles produced in the region or coming from Asia to 90%. 90% of competitive sourcing. In the Mediterranean crown, we'll fully utilize the 800,000 unit capacity in Turkey and Morocco, restore Fiat's leadership in Turkey, and provide competitive products across all markets. In Algeria, we are the main player today. We will scale manufacturing and reduce costs through deeper localization. In the Middle East and South Africa, we will use competitive imports from Asia to complement our regional offer. This transformation is already in motion. We will be at 75% of execution by 2028. Now the product plan. It is built around scale, capital discipline, and focus. 22 car lines will generate 90% of our sales. We are investing 300 million euros per year by leveraging regional incentives and partners' co-investments. For example, in Turkey, Tofaş, our joint venture with Koç Group, plays a key role in the development, manufacturing, and distribution. Half of these 22 car lines will be coming from Asia. The other half will be produced locally in Middle East Africa, including Jeep CKD programs from India and China. In the north, we'll mainly leverage the smart car platform, B and C segment cars, plus a full range of vans. In the south, we will complement with SUVs and pickups sourced at best benchmark costs from Asia. To conclude, revenues up 40% while sustaining a double-digit margin. A competitive transformation of our vehicle sourcing, reaching 90% of the sales sourced from the region or from Asia. Maximize the use of our best-in-class plants in Morocco and Turkey. Scale our operations in Algeria. Address performance shortfalls in South Africa and Middle East. Middle East and Africa will continue to be a profitable business growth engine for Stellantis. Thank you.
Please welcome Grégoire Olivier, Chief Operating Officer, Asia Pacific.
Good morning, everyone. Being the last one before the break, I'm going to focus on the essential. Antonio told us earlier, in Asia Pacific, we will focus on expanding our strategic partnerships to grow locally and export to other regions. We have, in APAC, something unique. Partnerships that no one else in our industry has. First, Leapmotor. In the short list of new Chinese BEV manufacturers, NIO, Li Auto, Xiaopeng, Leapmotor, Leapmotor is the one growing the fastest, with the most competitive cost position and the largest volume. 600,000 battery electric vehicle BEVs sold in 2025, world's global BEV manufacturer number 6. We are Leapmotor's largest shareholder, with a close to 20% ownership, have 2 board members, and through Leapmotor International, which is a 51% Stellantis entity, have exclusivity of selling Leapmotor cars outside of China. Leapmotor International gets the cars at cost from Leapmotor, and 18 months after launch, is at 11,000 BEV sold per month in March and April, and growing. Second partnership, Dongfeng. Having launched Citroën in China in 1992, Dongfeng has been a partner of Stellantis for the last 34 years. We have decided with Dongfeng to develop and manufacture in our Chinese JV, DPCA, 2 new Jeep and 2 new Peugeot models that we will sell around the world. This new BEV and PHEV at Chinese cost for Jeep and Peugeot customers in a number of export countries will be a significant contributor to Stellantis' growth, profit, and energy transition. They will be mostly financed by DPCA, which will allow us to remain asset light in the region. And then Tata Motors. Tata Motors has been a Stellantis partner for more than 20 years and will provide a highly competitive platform to develop a new Jeep car that will be developed in India, assembled in India in our Stellantis Tata JV in India for the world. With those 4 new launches with Dongfeng and a 5th one with Tata, plus our current Citroën Smart Car program in India, we will profitably grow in APAC. But more importantly, we will export those highly competitive cars to more than 50 countries around the world, generating a cumulative amount of more than 60 billion euros of vehicle and model sales over the next 5 years. To conclude, our ambition for APAC is threefold. Number 1, we will maximize our Leapmotor partnership synergies, which means grow Leapmotor International with the first milestone at 180,000 BEV sold next year. Number 2, we will maximize Dongfeng and Tata partnership synergies with 100,000 localized cars sold globally in 2028 and growing. Number 3, in the APAC region, adding our imports from North America and from Europe, we will double in size with an AOI margin between 4 and 6%. Thank you very much.
Please welcome back Charlie Christman.
Well, I hope you've been enjoying our presentations so far today. Just a couple of housekeeping items to mention before we go to the break. So for the next part of the day, we have some very exciting breakout sessions planned for all of you. These will be held in our design center, so we have some shuttles just outside to transfer you over. You'll get on them in the courtyard where you arrived this morning. Now, please note the color of your badges. These colors indicate which group you will be in once you arrive. Guides holding your color will be waiting for you there. Please make your way to them, and they'll lead you to your first module. All of you will attend all of the modules, but you'll remain together with your color group. Now, if you need to use the restroom, there's restrooms here or over there, and there will also be refreshments for you there if you need them. Now, due to the confidential nature of some of the things that you're going to see over there, we ask that, to the extent possible, you leave your electronics here in this room. Security will be in the room at all times to make sure that your items stay safe, and we'll be returning back here for lunch and for the rest of the presentations after these sessions. So it is now about 10:09. The first module will start at about 10:25. I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you back here later today. Thank you.
Please welcome John Nelson, Chief Executive Officer, Stellantis Financial Services.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm excited to have the opportunity to talk with you today about our financial services business and the actions that we are taking to build upon this important asset for the group. As Antonio highlighted, we have a well-established global foundation for Stellantis Financial Services that helps us to power customer experience. Now, this business may be larger than you know, having managed over 85 billion euros of average net receivables in 2025. In the next 10 minutes, I'll provide an overview of the foundation of this business and why it matters strategically to the group. From there, I'll take you through the levers that we are using to scale it for profitable, resilient growth by building on our global foundation, diversifying our revenue and profit streams, and increasing our wholesale and retail penetration. What results is a strategic asset for Stellantis that we will use to drive customer loyalty, engagement, and ultimately renewal. Now, financial services is not a support function. Rather, SFS helps enable a customer-centric approach by engaging the customer at every stage of the life cycle, shaping affordability from the first interaction, integrating vehicle finance and insurance at purchase, sustaining engagement throughout ownership, and ultimately delivering a data-driven journey at renewal. The impact is measurable. Customers that finance through SFS return up to 3 years earlier for their next vehicle, and they show up to 20% higher brand loyalty than customers who pay cash or finance through a retail bank. Now, what makes our position especially compelling is this. We already have a solid global foundation, but we are not yet at the scale of our competition. This gap represents a significant opportunity for our customers, for the business, and ultimately for you as shareholders. Now, financial services is not only a growth driver, it's also a stabilizer. When credit markets tighten and sales volumes contract, Stellantis Financial Services helps to keep the business moving. It provides credit to dealers and to retail customers precisely when outside financing is drying up, stimulating demand when it matters most. Equally as important, the portfolio generates cash and profit even as sales slow, sustaining the business through downturns without the need for significant additional resources. And when markets recover, SFS is the engine that helps to recapture customers and accelerate sales velocity. It doesn't just help us to survive a downturn, it positions us to emerge stronger. Now, as mentioned previously, Stellantis Financial Services entities managed average net receivables in 2025 worth over 85 billion euro. We operate across key markets worldwide with captive consolidated businesses here in the United States, Brazil, China, and Morocco. Strong joint ventures also with leading partners across Europe, Turkey, Argentina, and Mexico. And we're not done. In the near term, we're targeting expansion into Canada and into select markets in the Middle East and Africa. Markets where Stellantis already has a meaningful commercial presence and where a stronger financial services capability will directly support the group's growth and profitability and resilience. Nowhere is our execution and our opportunity more tangible than it is here in the United States. We acquired our US captive business in 2021. At that time, we had almost 1 billion euro in net receivables in that business. Today, the portfolio in the US stands at more than 21 billion euro, 25 times its starting size. We are the #1 financer of Stellantis branded new vehicles in the United States, with new originations exceeding €1 billion per month. But our growth has been disciplined. An average retail FICO score of 762 reflects the credit quality that we have built into the portfolio. But our runway for growth remains significant. We have line of sight to doubling the portfolio over the medium term. Our recently approved industrial lending company bank charter will help to accelerate this, lowering our cost of funding, expanding our product offerings, and improving net interest margin. The US is the playbook. Enter a market, scale with discipline, support dealers and customers, and what results is a generation of profit and cash flow. We continue to use this model as we scale the business in the US and as we enter into new markets. What results from this is a very clear path to growth built on 3 executable priorities. First, we will build on our strong foundation and we will grow our geographic footprint, expanding our activities into Canada and the Middle East, as I mentioned. Second, we will continue to scale our insurance and ancillary service offerings alongside traditional financing. Profit from these will double between 2025 and 2030, broadening our revenue base and reducing earnings volatility. Now, lastly, while our activities in Europe are more mature, meaningful headroom remains to grow wholesale and retail penetration to competitive benchmark levels in many markets, most notably here in the United States, where we're still in the process of scaling the business acquired in 2021. But closing the gap to these benchmarks is not some distant ambition. We are investing now in dealer and customer-facing tools and systems and in a broader, more compelling suite of finance and insurance products. Better experiences drive higher penetration, and higher penetration drives growth. So let me bring this to the bottom line. These initiatives will drive adjusted operating income above €1.5 billion by 2030, with a midterm return on equity that's in line with industry benchmarks in the range of the low to mid-teens. Now, I'd like to address 2025 directly. Our results here were affected by an industry-wide motor finance redress program in the United Kingdom and by lease portfolio impairment charges that were tied to residual value deterioration primarily related to 2 now discontinued nameplates in the United States. These issues are largely behind us, and the trajectory for 2026 forward reflects the underlying earnings power of the business and of the asset portfolio. Now, SFS will largely fund its own growth with limited net investment required from Stellantis through 2027. But from 2028 forward, financial services turns cash flow positive for the parent, and net dividends to Stellantis grow progressively from there, reaching €500 million in 2030. In closing, we are transforming financial services into a lifetime customer engagement business. This business is a counter-cyclical shock absorber that reinforces the group's resilience across the cycle. We're actively scaling an €85+ billion platform with significant upside ahead, resulting in a high-return growth engine, one that will deliver more than €1.5 billion of AOI in 2030, along with a growing dividend contribution to the group. This is the full picture of Stellantis Financial Services: expanding, resilient, and increasingly valuable. Thank you.
Our industry is tough, and we love it, because we know that tough is the best teacher you'll ever have. It teaches what easy never could. And when you stop and listen, you learn. You learn that customers tell you more than committees. You learn that asking what people want works better than telling them what they're going to get. You learn that if you want people to pay for it, you better make it worth it. Every lesson we've learned has created a better version of ourselves. We're tougher than ever before because we own tough. You can bet on that.
Please welcome João Laranjo, Chief Financial Officer of Stellantis.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It is a privilege to be with you on this important day for our company. Over the next 20 minutes, I will present to you our Fastlane 2030 financial framework. Fastlane 2030 is about measurable financial outcomes that you, our investors, can track and hold us accountable for. 5 priorities anchor our plan. First, restore revenue growth. By 2030, revenue will grow by more than 20%, driven by broader market coverage, a stronger product portfolio, and sharper local execution. Second, deliver structural cost reduction. Through a comprehensive value creation program, we are targeting 6 billion euros of annual cost reduction run rate by 2028. Third, scale financial services. By 2030, financial services is expected to contribute more than 1.5 billion euros of incremental AOI. Fourth, allocate capital toward our highest return opportunities. Over the planned period, we will deploy more than 60 billion euros of investment based on a disciplined, return-based approach to capital allocation. And fifth, generate sustainable profitability and free cash flow. Each year of the plan will deliver improved results, leading to 7% AOI margins and 6 billion euros of annual free cash flow by 2030. Let me now turn to the financial path through 2030. Revenue growth of 23%, from 154 billion euros in 2025 to 190 billion euros by 2030. This revenue growth is broad-based, and I'll walk you through the contribution by region shortly. Value creation program to deliver 6 billion euros by 2028 and continue to increase through 2030. This is structural, multi-year, and embedded in how we operate. AOI margin expansion to 7% of revenue by 2030, with a recovery to 5% margin already in 2028. I'll explain the key drivers in the coming pages. And industrial free cash flow will turn around from negative 4.5 billion in 2025 to positive 6 billion by 2030, driven by higher profitability and targeted capital allocation. Before we move into the details of Fastlane 2030, let me first reinforce our outlook for the remainder of the year. Our first quarter results show that we are moving in the right direction. As we stated on our first quarter earnings call, we are confident in the full-year guidance we provided in February, despite inflationary pressures, including raw material cost increases that could represent up to the equivalent of 1% of revenue on a run rate basis in the following quarters of 2026. We're also closely monitoring the developments of USMCA negotiations and the ongoing legislative review of European regulations. Let me now turn to the financial drivers of our Fastlane 2030 plan. Let me start with how we get to 2028, a critical milestone in our plan. Top-line growth contributes 2.1 points of margin improvement. The volume growth is driven primarily by a refreshed lineup and introduction of new vehicles in new segments to expand market coverage. Industrial cost savings contribute 5 points. This is the largest driver of improvement, reflecting the 6 billion euros of value creation program, which is equivalent to 3.6 points of margin uplift, and 0.9 points from other efficiencies, including the benefit of higher plant capacity utilization. It also includes 0.5 points from the non-repeat adjustments in 2025. Financial service contributes a further 0.5 points. Against those benefits, we have included a headwind of 1.4 points from raw material inflation. We're also planning for a 0.6 point increase in SG&A spend to support growth. Let me now walk you through our path for positive industrial free cash flow. As we outline in our 2026 guidance, we expect a return to positive industrial free cash flow for the full year 2027. The trajectory is already improving. In the first quarter of 2026, industrial free cash flow improved by 1.1 billion euros versus the first quarter of 2025. As profitability continues to recover, supported by higher volumes and the ramp-up of value creation program savings, AOI expansion will be the primary engine of cash generation. Working capital will be a meaningful contributor, more than reversing the negative working capital in 2025, as volume growth improves operating efficiency across the business. Investment will be slightly higher in 2027 versus 2025 to fund our product investments. Finally, cash payments related to the H2 2025 charges will continue, but progressively decrease through 2030. As a result, we are confident that industrial free cash flow will turn positive in 2027. Then in 2028, we expect to reach 3 billion euros of industrial free cash flow, driven primarily by further AOI improvement, including the full run rate benefit of 6 billion euros from the value creation program. Talking about growth, every region has an important role to play in our profitable growth plan. In North America, we are targeting 25% revenue growth and an 8 to 10% AOI margin by 2030. Over the planned period, North America will represent 60% of the total profit increase. In Enlarged Europe, we are targeting 15% revenue growth and a 3 to 5% AOI margin. In South America, we are targeting 10% revenue growth while sustaining 8 to 10% AOI margins. And in the Middle East and Africa, we are targeting 40% revenue growth with 10 to 12% AOI margin. This growth is supported by product actions explained by my colleagues today, which are funded by more than 60 billion euros of investment over the planned period, leveraging the partnerships to further amplify our capital reach. Next, let's turn to cost. When Antonio talks about industrial execution, he's talking about three things. First, quality. Second, industrial efficiency. Both are already being addressed and showing signs of improvement. The third item is product cost, which is central to the value creation program. This is one of the most important levers behind our margin expansion. VCP is a multi-year, enterprise-wide program designed to deliver 6 billion euros of annual cost reduction by 2028 versus 2025 baseline, with additional opportunity beyond that. And while today's discussion emphasizes the cost side of value creation, this program is broader than cost reduction and includes all aspects of our business. The same rigor, cadence, and execution discipline we are applying to cost is also being applied to commercial performance and will contribute to our revenue growth targets. The cost-focused portion of the program represents 6 billion euros, with savings balanced between Enlarged Europe and North America. These savings will be delivered through 4 enterprise-wide levers: components, manufacturing, quality, and logistics and indirect costs. The largest opportunity is component costs, which represent 75% of a new vehicle cost. Our focus is to reduce components costs through peer benchmarking, design to cost analysis, and a structured cross-functional work with our suppliers. We are taking a systematic approach. In 2026, we worked through more than 80% of the total components cost base across Enlarged Europe and North America. As an example, we have already launched a first wave covering approximately 35% of our components costs, with dedicated teams from engineering, purchasing, cost engineering, and finance. To date, they have generated thousands of initiatives, and some of the items are individually worth more than 10 million euros of recurring AOI impact. The strength of this program is its scale, agility, and integration. It does not depend on one initiative, one function, or one region. Moving to investment, smart capital allocation is at the core of our model. Over the planned period, we will deploy more than 60 billion euros in investment. Approximately 60% of our investment will be allocated to brands and products, and 40% to global platforms and technologies. Within product investment, the largest allocation will go to North America, 60% of the product investment, or approximately 22 billion euros during the planned period. This will ensure strong support for our largest profit pool opportunity. Throughout the plan, we expect annual investment to remain stable at roughly 7% of net revenues, supported by the benefits of our global scale, global platforms, and strategic partnerships. Turning to the balance sheet, our priority is to convert margin recovery into sustainable cash generation while preserving a strong and flexible financial position. We entered the plan with 6.7 billion euros of industrial net cash at the end of 2025. From 2027 onward, we'll generate positive free cash flow after fund investment at 7% of revenues. This cash generation will support shareholder returns while maintaining a strong balance sheet with more than 15 billion euros of industrial net cash and approximately 57 billion euros of total industrial liquidity at the end of 2030. If we step back, the plan we have outlined today is designed to make Stellantis a fundamentally more resilient company. That resilience starts with a more diversified global revenue base, higher capacity utilization, cost-efficient platforms, and smart capital allocation. It is reinforced by partnerships that amplify the impact of our capital, technology flexibility across regulatory environments, a growing financial service contribution, and a strong liquidity profile supported by positive industrial free cash flow. Together, these pillars give us the ability to navigate volatility, continue to invest for profitable growth, and protect shareholder returns through the cycle. Let me close by summarizing our Fastlane 2030 financial targets. We are moving from the reset in 2025 to stabilization and renewed growth in 2026. Our first quarter performance confirms that we are on track with our 2026 guidance. From there, we expect continuous improvement, positive industrial free cash flow in 2027, 5% AOI margins by 2028, and by 2030, 109 billion euros in revenue, 7% AOI margins, and 6 billion euros of annual industrial free cash flow. These targets reflect the financial outcomes of the strategic choice we have already made across brands, regions, capital allocation, cost structure, and partnerships. Thank you for your time today. We look forward to updating you quarter by quarter on our Fastlane 2030 progress.
How do you win the next era? That's easy. Be the best. Best in class and power. Best at making small a big deal. Best at stirring souls. Best at turning heads.
Then you have to be most. Most powerful. Most capable. Most colorful. Most affordable. Most awarded.
After that continue to be the only rebels, the only loves of your life, the only us.
And most importantly, never stop being first. First to evolve, first to push boundaries, first to make the impossible. Because if we do all that, the future is ours.
Please welcome back Antonio Filosa.
As we come to the end of this Investor Day, let me first thank you all for spending your valuable time with us today. And I also want to thank all the people in Stellantis who have worked hard to support me and the management team in preparing the plan on this very important day. We have shared with you our plan for the next 5 years, Fastlane 2030. This plan maps the path forward for Stellantis, a journey which this team started nearly 12 months ago. At Stellantis, we move people with brands and products they love and they trust. This is our clear reference to our customer, and we have placed them at the center of our plan and of everything we do every day at Stellantis. Now, let me leave you with a few key takeaways. First, we simplify our portfolio with our 4 global brands and our 5 regional brands and Pro One business unit serving professional customers. Second, we will allocate our capital efficiently. We will invest more than 60 billion euros by 2030, supporting over 60 new vehicle launches. We will develop global technologies and improve EV competitiveness. And we will have a special focus on North America. Third, strategic partnerships. They will be a real force multiplier. Partnership with other OEMs and with the best technology providers. They will further optimize our capital efficiency, accelerate time to market, support our EV competitiveness, and improve manufacturing capacity utilization. Fourth, we optimize our industrial footprint. Europe, North America, and Middle East and Africa will significantly increase capacity utilization. In Europe, we will reduce our total capacity by more than 800,000 units. In the US, we will increase production, mitigating the impact of tariffs. Fifth, execution, execution, execution. My background is in manufacturing, and this team will create an industrial machine with faster time to market, top quartile quality, a significantly improved capacity utilization to execute on our product promise to all our customers. And finally, the regions. Regions are where the rubber hits the road. As you heard today from my colleagues, we empower our regions. Each of them has built a tailored plan and owns the plan execution. And here to conclude our day is a reminder of what we intend to deliver. We expect to return to positive free cash flow in 2027. By 2028, our plan is to reach 175 billion euros in net revenues, 5% AOI margins, 3 billion euros of free cash flow. By 2030, 190 billion euros in net revenues, 7% AOI margins, 6 billion euros of free cash flow, with top quartile quality in all regions and in all segments by 2028. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Fastlane 2030. Our direction is clear, and our journey has just started. Thank you very much.
Okay, we've now reached the Q&A portion of our agenda. So while they're setting up the chairs, I'll explain how it's going to work. Similar to how we do on the earnings calls, this will be for the sell-side analysts. Please ask one question and one follow-up. You will see my investor relations colleagues, Valerie and Stephanie, with microphones in the aisle. If you have a question, please raise your hand and they will find you. So we'll just invite the management team up once they get the chairs set up. And we'll be taking your questions. Thank you.